a drawn Anzac Day. 29 years after the very first one finished the exact same way.
How to feel in those moments. Our coaches are here at the desk tonight. Brad Scott lived it. Brad's welcome.
Thank you, Jared.
Sam Mitchell, welcome.
Hello, Brad.
Welcome. Just thinking back on it, what do you reckon?
Yeah, it's a hollow feeling. In fact, I think you erased them from your memory because I think I said to the players I haven't been involved in a draw, but I've been since corrected on that.
You've played in two of them. Not memorable, though.
They're not memorable, no. But I think that one will be. I thought it was a great game of footy on a massive occasion for the game and for society at large. So, it was disappointing not to win, but I think for the occasion and for the game, it was a great day and probably sparked the debate as to whether we should have a draw in the home and away season.
Now, you've played in an extra time final, Sam. Good trivia question. West Coast and Port Adelaide.
Well, I enjoyed that because we won in the end. But I think in season, I loved watching that game, and as a neutral, it was perfect because neither team won, of course. But watching the crowd and the emotion and the unknown of it, I thought it was a great spectacle. It was a fantastic game of footy.
Can we get onto the game? We'll ask you about a couple of specifics at the moment. We got a headline here, the art of coaching, and it takes in so much in a game. I think when people look at Essendon, in times gone past, when the opposition team gets a momentum run, generally that could be it for the football club. I'm not talking just this year, years gone by. It's got too hard. In that game, the swap and chasing of momentum happened about, 8, 9 times. Collingwood might have had it 5 times, you've had it 5 times. How proud of you of the ability to fight back when you've lost momentum? Not once, twice, but 4 times.
Yeah, I'm really pleased. I think momentum's big in the game and has been, for the last couple of years, in my opinion. When you watch the good teams play each other, and you just know that both teams are going to have momentum at different stages, and it's the ability to capitalise on it when you've got it, and the ability to halt it. And the 6-6-6 rules made, I think, a big impact on momentum because it used to be easier to pull some levers to halt momentum. Now it's even numbers at centre bounces. So, I was really pleased with our ability to do that, and we worked really, really hard on it because it's not just a physical thing. It's probably more a mental thing.
Give us some insight.
Well, it's a matter of where does your head go in those times. I think all of us who have played, and that's why I think it's not necessary that you've played the game to be a coach, but I think it helps in moments like that because you can empathise with the players as to where their heads go when things are going against them. So it's the mental strength to be able to get back on task really quickly, and we work really hard on that. It's easy to say, difficult to do, but I think it's a really important part of the modern game.
But you've got to have the talent to capitalise when you've got momentum. And just to jump over to your team, you lost it completely in the second quarter on Sunday. You fought hard to get some of the momentum back, but you haven't got the quality. I'm not having a go at your players, but you haven't got the quality or experience yet to capitalise on the time you have got some momentum. Is that a fair comment or not?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I know that it's next on your run sheet, so I'll jump ahead to that. But the Jack Scrimshaw, it's exactly what Scotty was talking about, where we're working on being a more mature team that can handle swings and momentum. And we conceded 3 goals really quickly, and so we went to a more conservative game style in that moment. And then we're just not quite ready and don't have the maturity across the field to handle that moment. And so then we fuel it by giving them one more chance, and that happens right on quarter time. And then that pulls us apart for that extra couple of minutes. So then we go in, 5 goals down after we'd actually been with them for the first 15 or 18 minutes of the contest. So being able to handle those moments is exactly what we're working towards, where Scotty's right, the good teams, they're doing it the whole game, back and forth.
Is a flash of anger a worthwhile tool as a coach, or would you take that back if you could?
Oh, no, I wouldn't take it back. I mean, I thought Jack he actually performed fantastically after that, and he was going okay before that. But this was a key moment, and we gave them another scoring opportunity at a time where we didn't need to do that. And I think you need to know, you have to pick your poison with your players about what's going to help them and what's going to get a good. And I look at Jack's season, and he's enjoyed being coached like this. This is what the players have asked me to to be like. You have to create an environment in a football club that handles robust discussion. And I thought his response and his performance under difficult circumstances, not just in this game but across this season, has been first rate.
Do you square up with him in the aftermath at all, or is that just your coach and he's player, and you're both totally comfortable with that?
Oh, once I saw it and got some media coverage after the game, I rang him, and I don't like to talk about personal conversations in a public forum, but we had a discussion after the game, and I think he appreciated me giving him a call, because there's an internal and an external communication line that you have to be careful of, and when it becomes a public story, it's obviously a different narrative to what we actually talk about inside the four walls.
The knee-jerk reaction when people say that is, Sam Mitchell's frustrated. He's frustrated. You're frustrated with that play. You're frustrated with that play.
Not just that play. I think
Now I'm going to extend it. You're not where you want to be, and you're not where I suppose where a lot of people thought you would be at this stage of the new season. How is your being at the moment? Is there high levels of frustration? Is there high levels of anger? How are you handling this period of your coaching?
No, not high levels of anger. There's definitely a level of frustration, because you're so impatient and you want success and you want the players to have that feeling, and you see the big games and the big teams, and you watch a team like Sydney who they were fantastic. We just had no answers for their potency in their front half of the ground. And so we had real challenge trying to compete with them. But we have been in and out of games this year, and the frustration is that our best is not... We can't replicate it often enough, and so that is the frustration, and we know that we're on a journey, and that journey comes with pushing all the time, because it's not going to be an easy one.
Are you a bit further back than you would have hoped for at the moment, given the steps you took in the back portion of last year?
It's a good question. I mean, I think there's been, we've had some periods of this season that have worked exactly the way we would like, and then we can't hit the scoreboard on the end of it. So if you looked at the outcomes, we're further behind than where I would like us to be, of course. But, I look at the development of some of our players and some of the systems we have, and we've definitely improved. We took a step backwards in some areas on the weekend. But we know that we're a work in progress, and, we're getting some games into some players, and we had 9 guys under 50 games on the weekend. They only had 2. So we look at what they did and how quickly can we get to that capability.
So you're unshaken in the journey that you've embarked upon?
Yeah, completely unshaken in the big picture, but it doesn't make every small step in that journey just as difficult right now. We know that there's some steps that'll be a bit more enjoyable down the track, and we need to get to those as quickly as we can.
His interaction with Jack Scrimshaw, and I want to ask you about your interaction with your players. You can tell the stories that we don't know, but the one we do know is how you spoke to Kyle Langford after the game. You spoke about it in your press conference. I thought that really was enlightening for a lot of football fans to see how a coach would handle that situation. Yep. Has there been any follow-up? Have you said what you've said, or have you taken it further with Kyle since that time?
Yeah, I think the follow-up's really important, and I mean, Kyle was fantastic for us on the day for a start. Really impressive performance, and if there was a golden point or a kick-off in a draw, he'd be the first guy we'd throw the ball to have the set shot. So we talk a lot about it, and if you listen to any professional sports person at a really high level, and LeBron James basketball, Rafael Nadal tennis, they talk about just follow your process. And it sounds boring and cliched, but that's what we focus a lot on. I would have been really frustrated, and so would Kyle, if he'd gone away from his routine and done something different because of the moment. And he's the first to admit that he knows the stakes, and he thought about it really briefly, but he really quickly came back to his routine, followed his routine, and he simply didn't execute the way he would have liked, but he followed his routine through. So we go through the simple steps of, okay, are we doing enough work on it? Yes. Did you follow your routine? Yes. Are you doing all the things you can do to give yourself the best chance to kick the goal in that situation again? And it's yes to all things, so we're happy with it.
I might be wrong here. I'm just trying to find out information. The psychology of football, is that it for Kyle Langford, or do you have to follow it up with him again so he didn't go home on Thursday night and sleep on it and go, oh, God, I'm in a bit of a black hole the next day? Is there a psychological follow-up?
No, well, I followed up with him on the night, and he followed up with me. Again, because he's a proud competitor, and players ruminate on mistakes. And it's amazing when you talk to players, they can do 100 great things in a game, one bad thing, and all they can think about is the bad thing. And that's a negativity bias that all humans have. My job is to keep him focused on what he can control, and that's his preparation, his training, are we getting enough repetition of goal kicking? And his goal kicking has been elite this year. And he followed his routine, he just didn't execute. There are hundreds of mistakes throughout the game, and our focus is on going back to, did you do what you should have done in that moment? And it was yes to everything, you just didn't execute, which happens.
How savage is the injury to Sam Butler, as word spread yesterday?
Yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, I won't go into too much detail, but he's in hospital still at the moment. He had the surgery, all went well. We've all been talking to him, and he's back with it, and he's obviously hugely disappointed, and it was a shocking injury that's going to keep him out for the rest of this season, and too early to tell. But I think if you have an injury like that, being part of a football club is the best place you can be, because you're surrounded by mates, people who have an empathy and an understanding, some other people who are in the same boat, maybe not as serious an injury, but they're all not able to do the thing they love as well. So you're surrounded by people that are like-minded that are going to try to help you. So as soon as he's able, we'll get him back in and support him and look after him and see what his future looks like in this short term while he recovers.